Have you ever had one of those brief encounters with a stranger that just sticks with you for years? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring today with a really timeless short story by Ruskin Bond called The Woman on Platform 8. It's this beautiful tale that shows how a single moment of kindness can completely change everything. All right, so let's get right into it. The whole thing kicks off with this really simple, gentle question right in the middle of a chaotic railway platform. And these few words, they just slice right through all that noise and start this encounter that really makes you question what family and connection even mean. So let me introduce you to Arun. He's our main character, just 12 years old, and he's on his way back to the super strict life of boarding school. But first, he's stuck, all alone at Ambala Station. And get this, his train isn't even coming until midnight. So he's just stranded in that weird limbo, between where he's been and where he's going. Yeah, his parents figured, hey, he's 12, he's old enough to travel by himself. But as you can imagine, as the hours just drag on, that bustling station starts feeling a lot less like some grand adventure and a lot more like this huge, empty, lonely place. So he's doing what any bored kid would do, right? He's pacing up and down, checking out the bookstall, but it doesn't really help because the station itself is just chaos. The story calls it an inferno of heaving, shouting bodies. What a description. And in the middle of all that noise, all that life, Arun just feels bored. And yeah, a little lonely. And he's just kind of lost in his own thoughts, staring out across the railway tracks, when all of a sudden, this soft voice just cuts through everything. And not just the noise of the station, but it cuts right through that deep loneliness he's feeling. Honestly, this is where the story really kicks off. So he turns around, and there she is, a woman with a pale face and these incredibly kind, dark eyes. She's dressed really simply, just a white sari, no jewelry or anything. And Arun notices right away that even though she looks, well, poor, there's this quiet dignity about her, something that just makes you respect her instantly. And it's amazing how fast this connection happens. I mean, it starts with just one question. Next thing you know, she's taking his hand, they're heading to the dining room, and over some tea and samosas and jalebis, something real starts to form between them. That shy, maybe even a little suspicious kid from a few minutes ago, he's totally gone. Now he's just chatting away, completely forgetting he's talking to a stranger. And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it. Arun doesn't ask who she is, where she's from, none of that. He doesn't need to. He just accepts her for what she was to him, right there and then. She was this quiet, kind person who gave some sweets to a lonely kid on a platform. That's it. It's such a pure and simple kind of acceptance, isn't it? Okay, but you knew it couldn't last, right? This quiet, nice little moment they're having is about to get completely shattered. Because one of Arun's school friends, a boy named Satish, shows up with his mother, and their arrival just throws a wrench in the whole thing, forcing a choice that's, well, it's sudden and really surprising. And Satish's mother, whew, she's described as a large, imposing woman, and she's the total 100% opposite of the gentle woman with Arun. She's loud, she's got an opinion on everything, and you can just feel her casting this judgmental eye over the whole situation from the second she arrives. So she looks right at the woman in white, the stranger, and with this really assumptive tone, she just asks it. And you can just imagine the panic flooding through Arun, right? What's he supposed to say? How does he explain this person who, let's be real, is a complete stranger? But before Arun can even get a word out, the woman answers. So calmly, not a single trace of hesitation. And in that one instant, she seals their bond forever by telling this simple, powerful, protective lie. She claims him. Just like that. And with that one sentence, the whole dynamic on the platform shifts. Suddenly you have these two mothers, right? And their ideas about how to care for a child could not be more different. It's a perfect study in contrasts. So let's break this down, because this is really the core of the story. On one side, you've got the woman in white. She's all about dignity, trust, a real human connection. Then, on the other side, you've got Satish's mom, imposing, judgy, and her idea of care is, well, giving advice and offering stuff. One of them actually listens, the other just lectures. And you can see the question the story is really asking us, right? What does it actually mean to care for someone? And then comes the best part. The irony here is just, wow. Satish's mother leans in and sternly tells Arun, "Be very careful and never talk to strangers." And you can just picture Arun looking at this incredibly kind woman right next to him, the stranger who bought him tea, and he just says it. "I like strangers." Bam. You can almost feel Satish's mother just reeling from that. It's such a small act of defiance, isn't it? But it's also this huge, profound statement of loyalty. Without even thinking, he defends the woman who showed him real compassion. He picks her kindness over the other woman's bossy, judgmental attitude. And just like that, the station bell rings out. You can hear the hiss of the train pulling into the station. The journey is about to continue, which means it's time for goodbyes. And this leads to a final moment between Arun and the woman that is just incredibly powerful. So the guard's whistle blows, and this is it. But Arun doesn't just wave. No way. He leans right out of that train window, puts his lips to her cheek, and gives her a kiss. And then, as the train starts to lurch forward, he calls out, "Goodbye, mother." I mean, with that one word, he completely accepts the role she played for him. He makes it real. You know, their farewell is just as quiet as their hello was. There's no big dramatic scene, no shouting or frantic waving. He just sits there, still, watching her. Their whole connection was this deep, unspoken thing, and their goodbye is exactly the same. Just this quiet, intimate moment shared between two people as the distance between them grows and the train starts to pick up speed. And this is the image that sticks with you, right? The final picture that Arun and all of us reading are left with. Just this quiet figure of pure kindness, a pale, sweet woman in white, standing there on that busy, chaotic platform until she's just swallowed up by the crowd. It's like this little bubble of peace just disappearing back into all the noise. So in the end, we never find out who she was. She just vanishes back into the crowd. A total mystery. But that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? Ruskin Bond isn't interested in giving us the facts. He wants to leave us with the feeling. He leaves us with that big question. Can one single, brief moment of kindness from a total stranger really, truly resonate through your entire life? And I think this story suggests that, yeah, maybe those are the connections that matter most of all.